Welcome back, everybody. It's another episode of, I almost call it the Holistic Health Project. How about the Inner Health Project?
Oh, yeah, Hannah, that's the name.
That's the name. Well, it is the Inner Health Project, but we were just talking about holistic health before we started, and I wanted to somehow I wanted to change the name of your show. But let's not do that. Let's just keep it the Inner Health Project so we don't confuse people.
Yeah,
is it okay?
Let's keep it there.
Let's keep it there. But we do want to talk about holistic health. Like, what does it mean to be holistically healthy? I think to your point, before hitting record, most people, when they think of health, we think of like the body. I'm healthy, which means like I drink water, or I'm really flexible.
I exercise, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
But there's more to the picture. So how did this topic come up for you? Like, how did this happen? Like, why did you think of this?
Well, I'm right now in a health coaching training program. Yeah. So I'm going to be adding that to my business.
Nice.
Which is awesome. But we've been talking about how all aspects of your life affect and manifest in the body or in different ways. And then I was just thinking, well, what is really the meaning of health, and what does healthy mean? Because a lot of times we hear that it's, being, going to the gym and drinking water and more of like the physical part of it, not having any disease, right. Being like having a skinny body. That was one myth that I didn't realize that I believed. You don't have to be this skinny person to be healthy. Skinny people, can be unhealthy, and bigger bodies can be healthy just as healthy. So there's a wide range of it, and I think we need to examine more the other aspects that can influence our health. Yeah. And that's kind of where it came from.
Is there like a definition of like a holistic definition of health, like that could be applied to all areas of our experience, our being? Like,
I'm sure there could be.
I mean, I don't know if you bumped into one or you have one off the cuff, but I'm poking for anything that might show up.
Yeah, I think everyone kind of has can create their own definition of what health means to them.
Yeah.
I think if we look at holistically, if we're talking about the bigger picture, it's finding balance in all parts of your life.
Ooh, I like that. There you go. What's up, Haley? You totally nailed that. That's good. I like it. That totally works for me. Finding balance.
Okay.
I like that.
Okay.
That's good.
Yeah. So we can look at, your mental state, your emotions, your physical body, of course, and even your spirituality, on how all of that plays into your everyday life, and how you move through life, and how that affects you. Even the environment that you live in, your home, your work environment, that all has an effect on you.
Yeah.
If you're going to work every day and you are super stressed out and you have no way of releasing that stress, and it just kind of compounds on you, and it just ends up maybe it's stuck in your shoulders. You get really tight shoulders and you're really tense.
Yeah.
Or it can also affect you emotionally too. Like you're just, maybe you're angry or you're fed up, and there's no way to release this tension, this stress that's in your life. That's going to affect you. That can manifest physically, like pain, or even poor digestion. It can really affect you that way, or maybe weight gain, weight loss. There's more to the picture than we hear about.
Yeah.
And I wanted to address that. I wanted people to know that, being healthy is more than just drinking water.
Yeah. Right. And I think I was thinking about spiritually, when I'm out of balance spiritually, things feel very confusing, like they're clouded, right? So
Mm-hmm.
like when I'm trying to make a decision in business, or I'm trying to have understanding about life's purpose, like when I'm out of balance spiritually, those answers are harder to find.
Right.
Right. So again, holistically healthy, like it just, there's symptoms throughout, and everybody's going to experience them differently. It would be interesting for people listening to this to go sort of write down the symptoms that they have in each, like when you're out of balance physically, what symptoms do you notice? When you're
Right.
out of balance spiritually, what are some of the other ones? Emotionally?
Yeah, or even your environment,
Right.
or maybe like the energetics around you,
Hmm.
the people in your life. If you're
Right.
around people who are angry all the time, or they're not pleasant to be around, that's
Yeah.
going to affect you.
Hmm.
You're going to
Right.
take in that energy, and
Right.
it can throw you off balance. Or if you're just even the environment that you're living in, like maybe you're in the wrong climate for what you need for your life. Maybe winters don't suit you and you need to move to a warmer climate,
Yes, please.
or the rain, or the humidity, whatever. It kind of brings to mind, I don't know if you're familiar with Ayurveda or Chinese medicine, but like the ancient Eastern philosophies of health and wellness is there's a balance, there's a season, there's an ebb and flow even to the day.
Yeah.
And to be in that rhythm, your body has a rhythm, the day has a rhythm, the seasons have a rhythm.
Yeah.
And I think with our modern lives, we've gotten so out of sync with nature and that rhythm that
Right.
that balance is harder to come by.
Yeah.
So
that's so good. Yeah. I think this, for those that are committed to leveling up their life, they're like, I'm going to keep growing. They like to grow. They like to develop personal development, all of that. Like these conversations are where it's at, because it's you got to get past the traditional advice out there, and definitions like healthy, for example. Like healthy has this traditional definition, and I think those of us into growth and development are like, yeah, I want to push myself there. Like I want to push what that means for me. And so we keep exploring the edges of these conversations of what it means to be really healthy all over our lives.
Right. I think you can ask the question, like, is this nourishing to me? Like, is this environment nourishing to me?
I like that. Yeah.
Does this type of movement or exercise that I'm doing, does that nourish me? Or does it create more stress for me? Like if you're forcing yourself to go to the gym just because you think you have to, this is something that you are supposed to do, let's hit it hard. Like, yes, sometimes people need that. But if you're going to the gym and it's stressing you out and you're not enjoying it, I don't think it's going to do you a lot of good. Like if it's just something that you got to check off on your list and you're not fully present for it and you're not fully enjoying it, and it's not bringing this nourishing feeling to you, I think you're just being counterproductive, and you're just creating more conflict and imbalance in your life.
So good. That's a great question, like a clarifying question, like no matter what it is, you could almost a mantra, even you could just have it. It's not really a mantra, but it's one of these like constant questions that you can bring up and just evaluate. Is this a nourishing relationship? Is this a nourishing conversation? Is this a nourishing chair that I'm sitting in? No, it's not. Like,
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And if not, and nourishment should also bring some pleasure and some fun.
Right. Yeah.
So you can also remind yourself that you should have some fun and pleasure in your life to be healthy. Like there's nothing wrong with that. So you can, that could be like your, what do they call it, a litmus test, or just ponder, if you're ever in a situation, you're just confused, you're wondering like what's up. Just ask yourself that question.
I even think, if we took that a step further, some people have these weekly routines where they'll do sort of a recap of their week and then they'll plan forward for the next week. And if you're doing any sort of evaluation on life or business or relationships or whatever, just asking the question as a regular checkup, hey, what was nourishing this week in all these areas of life? And then what wasn't nourishing this week in all these areas of life? And just, if every week you were making micro corrections in your life and making different decisions the following week because of that question, that'd be crazy powerful.
Yeah. You could go back and check and see what was working, what's not. And I kind of have that going on for me right now. So it's summer, and every summer I, love to have a garden, and it would bring me pleasure and happiness. And it was just my time to relax and feel part of the earth. And this summer I'm like, you know what? It's just too stressful. I think I'm not going to do it. And that's a really hard realization for me to come to, because I always enjoyed being in the garden, and but last year was a little bit stressful, and this year when I said, if I don't do it, what's the harm in that? What's kind of, this weight was lifted off of me. Like, this is no longer self-care for me anymore. It's just another thing on my list. It's adding more stress to my life. So I don't know. I feel a little sad about it, so maybe when you do reevaluate what's working, what's not in your life, I understand, like, the thought of letting some things go that have been a part of your life, that relationships or your self-care. I understand how that can be scary to let go and admit that this no longer brings me joy.
Yeah.
I mean, wow, I just said that out loud for the first time about gardening. I mean, maybe having a huge garden. I might have it in a different capacity.
It doesn't have to be by forever.
Right.
Just buy
maybe
for now.
Just this summer.
Just buy for now.
Yeah.
Until we meet again. I can see that with careers too, like people's professions, and just having, like, one day you look up and you're like, this doesn't nourish me anymore. This is like I dread going to work every morning. It didn't start out that way. 5 years, 10 years, 20 years ago. But now when you wake up, you're like, your experience of work is dread.
Right.
Not nourishing. And that can be sad because there's a lot of identity that gets created in our work. Like, I am a blank. Like, what does it say on your business card? I am a whatever. And then we have to reinvent who we are. And that can be scary too. So sometimes I think we'll stay in things, even though it makes us holistically unhealthy, simply because it's scary to try to think about reinventing that area of our life. But
what was profound for me is, I worked with a business coach that helped me figure out my why, like why I do something. I knew what I did and I knew how I did it, but I really didn't know why, like what was motivating me. And for me, it's creating, trusting and connecting relationships with people. So I could be doing that no matter what I'm doing, right? But my motivation is still going to be the same. So yes, I can have a career change and reinvent my profession, but at the core, I'm always going to be motivated by that same why. So, if you are thinking about changing professions, or you hate your job and you think, like, oh my God, I'm going to have to reinvent everything. You only have to change the path that you're on for your career, but you are still going to be doing and motivated by that same deep down desire, whatever that is for you. It's still going to be you. You're still going to be authentic. So you don't have to change everything about yourself.
Right. And I love that, because if you find under the surface of the things we do, like the who we be, the values we have, you can more intentionally create something nourishing. Even like in the case of a career change, you can go find a career that's more nourishing if you're in touch with what you value and why you do what you do, because then you can go pick a career that has that embedded in it,
Right.
Or whatever.
Or you can make that career your own. And I think that's what people really want. That's what a nourishing relationship could look like for, for people is seeing your why and knowing your, like, feeling connected to people, and
Yeah.
we're being vulnerable with each other, being real. That for me is a nourishing relationship.
Right.
I think for a lot of people it is.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, it's so good. I didn't expect the conversation to go towards profession and career, but I mean, just all the more, I mean, holistically healthy is really very broad conversation. I mean, there's a lot of places in life to look at where you're being nourished or not nourished. And
Yeah. And if you think about it, I mean, we have a job, we do that every day. It's something that it's a huge part of our life.
yeah.
So if it doesn't resonate with you, if it's not serving you, if it's out of balance, it's going to filter into other areas of your life, because everything is connected, and it's going to affect you. Your job isn't in isolation from the rest of your relationships, and so it affects you.
Yeah, big time. Wow, so good, so good, so good. Any last minute words of wisdom before I ask you where people can reach you?
I just want people to, if you had to find, like, we don't have enormous amounts of energy, but if you were fighting off a health issue and you only had a little bit of energy for other things, you needed to focus on yourself and heal yourself. I want you to imagine, if you only had a little bit of energy, what would you spend that energy on? Because you only have a little bit of it. So it's almost freeing to say, I'm going to let this go, I'm going to let that go, and really I'm going to only put my energy towards the things that really, really matter in my life. And I think when you do that, when you sit there and you focus on what really, truly matters, the little things that might stress you out will fall away. And you can find more balance and have a holistically connected life and healthy life that way.
Wow, beautiful. Love it. Well, if people want to reach out to you, connect with you, maybe book a massage with you, wink, wink. I think that's a good idea. How do people connect with you?
Yeah, so you can go to innerhealthproject.com and you can watch all of our episodes there. I'm also on Facebook. There is an Inner Health Project group on there, so you can connect with me that way, continue the conversation, ask me questions, send me some show topics if you'd like to. You can also find me on YouTube as well. Just search Inner Health Project.
You're everywhere. I love it. Hannah's everywhere. So good. So good. Hannah, thanks for bringing us great content every time, all the time. Until next time, take care.
Thanks, Chris.